What's going on, everybody? This is my daughter's blanket. So I had a lot of people asking me like, well, how come you're not making videos and blah, blah, blah. I told you guys that when I'm on the road, I try not to bother my trainer. I try not to bother people. If you watch other guys like YouTubes, have you ever seen them go in and like, they're all like making a video and like people are going around them like, oh shit, excuse me, you know, like, and they're like looking at them all crazy and like you're going through the door and just like taking your sweet time and like everyone's just kind of looking at you like you may not think you're bothering people, but you are kind of bothering people. And then people were like, who cares? Like, I don't care if I'm bothering anybody. That's great. I'm glad you don't, but I do. So I tried not to do that, you know. As I get my own truck, and I've said this a million times in other videos, when I get my own truck, I plan on getting a laptop so I can be able to edit videos, play video games, because I really like playing video games. Like I'm on my computer now and updating everything, and I'm probably gonna hopefully, you know, be able to play it sometime today. I know tonight, you know, I'm gonna go to dinner with my wife, and you know, I do a couple of things with the family because I came back due to a sickness in the family. So you know, we're gonna go take care of that. She's getting off actually in about an hour and a half, so it's 12 o'clock now. But I had a lot of people asking me about what my thoughts were on like TNT so far, and now that I'm getting towards the end, like you know, has my opinion changed on TNT and how it all works? And I would have to say no. I think my opinion on TNT will probably never change. The only way that it could change is if they change the whole change the whole shebang, right? They change the whole training department. I say training department, but the whole program as a whole. Like, that's the only way that I think I would change my mind. And I would really, when they changed it, I would really have to see how those changes affected like trainers, because currently, right now, in my opinion, the way it is geared is the lazy trainers profit, right? Because and it's funny, and they push this narrative because it's, I think I don't remember what safety video was on or what it was, but he goes, well, right now, if you're training, your checks are almost doubled. You know, their average trainer's check is like $3,000 as opposed to the average solo check is like $1,000 or whatever it was, or whatever he said. And I'm like, that's not really a good way to incentivize like good trainers, right? I mean, you're basically just told everybody that all you got to do is train, we'll pay you more money, like you'll get more money. Like, that's not a good way to train, because now you're going to have, what's going to end up happening is you're going to have a lot of people thinking that they're just going to make bank being a trainer, and then you're going to end up like pushing away all the good trainers and then just basically incentivizing all the bad ones, right? And that's how it currently is now. That is a terrible way of trying to get people to train. And really, you're really not training. What they really are wanting you to do is be a team truck, right? Because they want you to move that team freight, which is the high value freight, you know, all that stuff. That's really what it's for. It has nothing to do with, like, you know, because like when you're training, they're not giving you like solo loads. Do they? Yeah, depending on who you got. If you asked for solo loads, yeah, you'd probably get them. You know, just in case maybe your trainee is not that good at driving or whatever, or they can't stay up for very long. You know, obviously, you know, you're not going to get a team load until they get a little bit better at it. But yeah, it's to me, it's a bad way of trying to get people to train, is telling them that, well, you'll get paid more. That's crazy. You know, I think if they incentivized better trainers, so what I mean is, if they took the program and looked at it and said, okay, say I go solo next week, right? And I don't have any accidents for 6 months. You know, I think the trainer should be incentivized for that. I think the trainer who trained me should get money for that. You know, assuming that he's still with the company, right? If he's still with the company. And I'm not saying that that's what they should put in. I'm just saying if they have some type of like bonuses they can put in for that, to me, that would be the way to incentivize good trainers. You know, and then, you know, and if people want that extra money, they're going to have to be good trainers. That's what makes them a good trainer. You know, I don't know how you fix the problem of, you know, having, you know, guys just say, I don't give a shit about the bonuses. You know, I'm just going to show up and do this. You know, I don't think you ever fix that, but at least if they want more money, if they want those bonuses, they have to be good trainers. I wish that they saw that, you know, with the current program. I wish that they saw that 50,000 miles is no different than 30,000 miles. Like a 20,000 mile difference isn't going to change the way someone drives. It's not going to change the way, you know, it's not going to make them a better driver, you know. And who knows? What if they're not that good of a driver because their trainer sucks? Like, how do you know that? But you're penalizing the trainee for it, right? Maybe their trainer's not letting them back up a whole lot, so they're not good at backing up. So when they go to back up, they hit something. You know, now they get another 10,000 tacked on. You know, I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but I'm just saying, like, you know, what if that was the case? What if it really was, you know, that they're just bad trainers out there? There was one lady that we were at the terminal one day, and she had 49,000 something miles, 49,500 miles, and she had to come back in to the training pad, and she had to basically do all the backing and learn to back because she couldn't back up the truck. So if she was with a trainer for 50,000 miles, why the fuck can she not back up? Right? Isn't that what the whole point is? Like, they're supposed to teach them everything and teach them their job and teaching them to back into alley docking and all that stuff. Like, how can she not back up? Like, so one of two things happens: either she's a terrible driver, or the trainer was not letting her back up. Basically, every time they back up, he was doing it. So, you know, to me, that's just one of those things where it's kind of like, wow, you know. You know, TNT is how do I explain this? I'm fed up with TNT, right? And the reason is I like my freedom, right? And I like to be able to decide when I can go home, when I can't go home, or when I can leave and when I can't leave, you know. And I feel restricted, right? I feel restricted because like, for instance, I'll tell you guys, today, I think at 5, I'm getting paid $709 or $703 or something like that. But I've got to make a car payment. You know, we got to make a car payment to catch it back up because, as you guys know from the last couple of videos, we've been so fucking behind. It's been unreal. So that's $300 right there, $340 something right there. Got to pay the electric bill to catch it back up. That's $173, which our electric is never that high, but it includes half the bill. So I mean, it's you know, we got to catch it back up. And I mean, and so by it's all said and done, I might have maybe $200 left over, and that's got to go for gas. It's got to go for food, and, you know, anything that food for the house, just our house, not including what I'm going to need on the road. You know, so I'm just fed up. I'm fed up with with TNT. Like I said, I was talking about the 30,000 mile and the 50,000 mile thing. I think that everyone was fine at 30,000 miles. I really think that. I think they're gearing towards. I think when they do things, they're thinking of it as, like, money. They don't think of it any other way but money. And they try to put it on everybody like, oh, we're doing it for our family, our prime family, or whatever company you work for, our trucking family or whatever. They're not my family. I've said that before in another video. I have a family. Those aren't my family, right? And they like, oh, safety is always number one, and this and that. You know, like, you know, at 30, if you would know, you don't need 30,000 miles to figure out if someone's a bad driver, right? I think the trainers should have more say, right? So if after 6,000 miles, they still have not figured out, you know, are not getting smoother in their backing, or if they're not getting, you know, if they're just not doing better or getting better, and the trainer feels like, yeah, no, you're probably gonna need some more time. And as I get closer to that 30,000 mark, you know, that's when he sits down and has a conversation with his trainee and says, look, you know, here's what I think, you know, here's what I think you're at, but I think you could do better. I think you can, it'll help you if you got another 10,000 miles, you know, so we can, you know, work on, you know, this, work on that, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then by the end of that, we'll see if you're good to go, you know. To me, that's a better way to do it, you know, instead of slapping everybody with 50,000 miles, you know, and then, that's it. 50,000 safe miles. Like, you don't need 50,000 miles to figure out if someone is safe. You don't need 50,000 miles to figure out someone's a bad driver. And, case in point, there was a guy who posted on one of the Prime groups. In 6 months, he's gotten 13 critical events. And with the 2 that he said he had gotten, I think it was like 15 critical events. If you kind of break that down, in 4 weeks, that's 1 a week for 3.5 months, 4 months, something like that. So you don't need 50,000 miles to figure out if someone's a bad driver, right? I think that the TNT program could use an overhaul. I think there's some stuff that they do that is a little archaic. Like, for instance, like trip sheets, having to fill in the bubbles and all that shit. Why isn't that on our app? Everything else is on our app. Like, and most of the time when we're doing our trip sheets for everything, it's right there anyway. Or I'm sorry, not right there, but we're stopped anyway. And so we could literally just tap, fill everything in, type it in, bam, done. And I think what it is people don't have, everyone has a smartphone. And if that's the case, then why not make it so our ELDs are better? Like the Qualcomm, what they call it, OmniTrack, is fucking terrible. Like, if you guys use those for 5 minutes, you would hate it. Like, I wish I could throw it out the window, but I can't because it's attached by a fucking cord. It's going to fly back in and hit me in the face. Like, I wish I could destroy that thing. It's terrible. And I look around at other trucks that are sitting next to us, and they got like tablets, like little tablets. They're wireless. The look of them is so much better. It's more modern. They're faster. I mean, it's like, damn, like, how can we be this big of a company and we got shit for equipment? You know what I mean? And I understand, like, lease and owner ops or whatever, they're all going to have to pay for this. They're going to have to pay for it. But honestly, like, I would rather pay a few dollars more for a better system than pay $5 and have this shit, ELD equipment, right? So, yeah. That's my take on TNT. I mean, is it the right one? Who cares? It's my opinion, right? I respect everyone's opinion when it comes to, the topic at hand and all that stuff. I will remind everybody that, if you're going to leave comments or whatever, I highly encourage it, but don't come on here thinking that you're a badass, right? Don't come on here thinking, like, I'm trucking for 640 years and you don't know what you're talking about. I don't need that shit. You want to go be a super trucker? Go where they all hang out at. What's that? Say no, bonehead truckers. That's where they all hang out at. The videos are funny. It's fun to watch, but it seems like all the fucking super truckers love to hang out over there. So go hang out over there. I love that guy's channel too, Bonehead Truckers, and I'm actually on the Facebook group too. Hilarious stuff. But the community over there is fucking toxic as shit. And that's just the trucking community in general. And that'll be my next video, is how toxic the trucking community is, and if you're new to getting your CDL, what to expect. Maybe not so much in the local scene, and I'd venture to say regional, but because when I was doing like construction work and stuff like that, you don't really run into a whole lot of guys like with CDLs, and truck driving and all that. But when you're actually on the road and that's all you really run into is truck drivers, and holy shit, like it's a whole nother ballgame. Like they like, if they don't like your opinion, they will absolutely tear you to pieces. And for what? Because they don't like your opinion. Like, it is the dumbest fucking thing. Like, you guys will just not have to miss that video. I'm going to try to get some screenshots and some other stuff. And it'll be as recent as possible. That way you can see what I'm talking about. Like, you can see how toxic it gets really, really fast. Over nothing. It can be over nothing. And it's, oh my gosh. Like, just talking about it gets me so fired up because it's crazy because they're always like, we're truckers, we have to take care of each other on the road and blah, 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 we have to look out for each other. But then in the same hand, they're the same sentence, they're like talking shit about each other and like, look at this fucking idiot and look at this carpet rider and all this other crap. Like, you will not believe the amount of racism that goes on in the trucking community. It will blow your mind. It will absolutely blow your mind. The stuff that like you read and hear like on Facebook or like on mainly Facebook. I mean, I know there's other places. I know people use like CDL Life and all that stuff, but I mainly see it on Facebook, and I like, it makes me not want to tell people that I'm a trucker because it's so bad. The stuff that goes on is absolutely incredible. Anyways, let me go, guys. I could talk all day about TNT and what I feel like TNT means to me and all this stuff. And but honestly, I would rather just be done with it, right? I would rather just be done with it and move on and worry about, my family, my truck, the potential truck that I'm going to get, what I'm going to need, that kind of thing. That stuff like that keeps my mind off of like how bad TNT is and, that kind of thing. I know that there's people in Prime that think TNT is like the greatest thing and, oh my gosh, it's so great. And, and I know there's people that think that Prime can do no wrong and Prime is, oh my gosh, the greatest company in the world. And, I just, if I could, I'd put a ring on it, that kind of shit, the Kool-Aid drinkers. And that's what I call them. I don't know what anybody else calls them. I call them the Kool-Aid drinkers, those purple Prime, Kool-Aid drinkers, man. And I'm not saying that like you shouldn't be proud of the company you work for, but at the same time, you should recognize that a company, any company, whether it's Prime or Swift or Knight or McDonald's or Walmart, Target, they're not perfect, right? They're not perfect. And if all you talk about is how great they are, and anytime someone brings up anything negative, you just shut it down, like you are that Kool-Aid drinker. You have to recognize that companies, make good decisions and make bad decisions. Like you have to recognize that just because they say they're taking care of you, they're not really taking care of you, right? So, if you recognize the pros and the cons of the company you work for, things would go so much smoother. You would actually get a better experience from that company because they'd probably be more willing to listen to you. If you have, think about it, if you had 90% of the company talk about how great they are and never say anything negative, and the 10% that are critical of them and say, you know what, yeah, you're great, but we could do better. Do you think they're going to change anything? No, because a majority of the company thinks they're already doing great. What do we need to change? So if you don't like my opinion about Prime or whatever else I talk about, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care if you don't like it. You're at the wrong place if you think that I'm gonna talk about how great a company is. Even if I worked at some other trucking company, say Swift, I still wouldn't do the same thing. I would still be like, yeah, this kind of sucks. Or if I worked at, insert trucking name here, I would do the same thing. I'm not going to sit here and, pat anybody on the back, because they do one good thing, right? And I'll leave you guys on this. The one thing that bothers me the most, and I can only talk about Prime because I don't know about how the other companies' terminals look or anything like that. But the one thing that bothers me the most is like, oh, we have a basketball court and a movie theater, and we have this and we have that, and we have this for the drivers. Yeah, I'm on the road like for like 2-3 months straight. Like, and the time that I do go into the terminal, I usually go and grab something to eat. I might be like, man, that's right, they have a fucking basketball court and a movie theater here that I can use. Like that's not what I'm thinking about. So that's definitely not for us. And I think the in-house employees enjoy that shit more than we do. If they wanted to do something great for us, they should figure out something that we get on the road. Maybe they should figure out a way where we could have some kind of deal with like indoor swimming pools. That would be nice. They should figure out a way to get places where only Prime trucks can park. That would be nice. Like in different places, especially where parking is bad. Things like New York and New Jersey and Boston and, places where like, oh, fuck, I'm never going to find parking here. I wish that they would do things like, if we had to pay for parking, I wish that they would reimburse half of it, so that way instead of paying $15 or $25 for parking, we could pay $7.50 for parking, right? Say you have to go pay $25 for parking. And I would be like, well, that's cool because I don't have to, my company pays for half my parking, it's $12.50, and it would just be for that night, that would be nice because then at least I would be like, cool, I paid $12, I paid 50% off on this reserve parking spot because I'm going to get reimbursed for it. I'm going to get reimbursed half of it. That would be nice. Like, especially if you had a receipt from the Pilot or Flying J or wherever, Love's or wherever you were going to get, reserve parking for that night. And maybe they restrict it to only places like truck stops, like Love's and Flying J and TA and Petro and, whatever else is out there that has reserve parking. I know Love's doesn't, but you get my point. Like, that would be nice. Now, if it's some other place, like some place you find that's not anything to do with that, maybe it's called, whatever, Riggy. I think I saw one the other day that said Riggy's. and it's, you know, it's like a private lot, you know, kind of thing. It's not like a Love's or, you know, any kind of gas station. You know, maybe they have a program for that. You know, maybe not 50% off, and maybe they'll pay 20%. You know, just if it's just for the night. You know, don't pay any monthly, you know, parking fees or anything like that. That would be nice. I think they would. I think instead of looking out to like how can I make my terminals better for truck drivers that never get to be in the terminal, I think if you would ask yourself the same question is, you know, how can I make truck driving on the road for drivers that are on the road? I think if you ask that question, you could come up with a lot of good different programs that could and look out for you know, drivers on the road, and not just for Prime, for every company. I think every company should definitely ask themselves that question: how can we make life better for them on the road? What can we do as a company, you know, to make it better for them? Is it paying 50% of their reserve parking fees? Is it, you know, giving them this or giving them that, whatever it might be on the road to make their life more comfortable? I think that would be a better question to ask. So guys, let me get out of here. I've got to get ready for the wife to get home. I don't have much time. And then I will try to make another video later tonight, or probably tomorrow is my guess. And we'll talk about the toxic community that's around, and you guys aren't going to want to miss that one because man, I'm going to try to get, that's why I'm waiting a day or two to do it, because I need to get some screenshots, and it's going to take me seconds to get it. But if you want to come on the Discord and all that, this link is in the description. It's completely free. I will send you the pages. Like, I'll let you know what pages to go to, and you'll see what the hell I'm talking about. So you don't want to miss it. Anyways, guys, thanks for all the love and support, and we'll catch you on the next one.